Hey folks, how you doing out there today? Remo back. We are out on my new Snowrunner mod map, which is the Wellbore Marshes. This map is going to be map 3 of the Highway Haulin region that I'm going to be putting together when I have all 4 maps built. That's right, 4 maps coming in this one, so each individual map will be released as I finish it, and then everything's going to be redone in terms of different world, whole new set of missions for the 4-map region. So something to look forward to, and I would guess probably about 2 months from now. This map is coming along really nicely. I am probably about 80% done putting the world together. Almost all the map is covered now. I'm starting to fill in some of the little areas like this. I'm still kind of working on coming up with some little missions for the single map version, so if you have any suggestions, let me know. The setting is an oil field type run. What we're doing today is actually going to be doing a recovery here from an old logging camp. Not sure if there's going to be logs available in the single map, the region version, but the single map I'm going to have 1 log pickup. It's probably not going to be this spot. You see here, this is going to be a pretty gnarly road that we're going to be going down here. What I envision for this map with the single map version is we're going to have 1 oil rig that we're going to bring stuff out. There's a main road right up on the one side of the map. It's going to have a rail yard, store, gas station, that kind of stuff, a garage. You're going to be hauling stuff out. You're going to build a whole oil rig, and then we're going to go over and move an oil rig from one spot to another, which is going to involve quite a bit of running around on the map. There are a lot of small creeks on this one that you can use as a trail. Some are more challenging than others, but I've tried to build in a bunch of those options. In general, the map's going to be fairly traversable. You can see the forests aren't super thick, so you're going to have to deal with hills and rivers and swamps, as the marsh's name would indicate. But you're going to have quite a bit of freedom to go where you want to go, although you are going to have to go through trees, but nothing too terribly tight, so it should be fun on that side of things. Now, I have released a version out for any of my channel members on PC that you can basically go around and have a little bit of an adventure. Check out the map. This is where you really get a chance to give some suggestions on what you want to see as the map's being built. So if anyone's interested in that, you can join the channel and get access to that kind of fun stuff. It helps me a lot in terms of coming up with ideas and making sure things look good. Now, this trail is more of a play around kind of trail, but we are going to be hauling some sort of vehicle. It won't be this crocodile. Unfortunately, that's a DLC truck, and I hate using those for missions. It's not everyone has them, so. But it'll be something around this size of the vanilla in-game trucks. Really tried to add in a mix of rock and swamp and hills and all sorts of challenges around this map. This is a pretty good example of a tough little trail that you could have a lot of fun just cruising around on. This week I'm going to be working on adding in watch points and probably a recovery or 2 just for any of the early access channel members to kind of play around. And you don't really get a good feel for the map until you try and do some missions, to be honest with you. You can just kind of cruise around, it's fun and all, but there is actually one mission that you'll probably have to use a river. I mean, there are other ways, they would be really tough, but I've tried to work some of that thought into the missions. And as I've said, there are going to be some seismic find the spot and survey it kind of missions. Gonna have a few cabins spread around that will have some deliveries, probably maybe a bit of food or parts or something like that. I was thinking of maybe working in some sort of mining pit into this one, because cargo wise in the game we have gold, we have silver, and then we have the bagged sand. Maybe a big sand pit. Could use the soft sand like Fraser Island too. There you go. Maybe I'll pull something like that. Because that's something that I do want to have hauled over to map 1 in the region. Maybe back on Timber Creek, that pit can be more about rocks. Nobody likes that rock trailer though. I think I might have to lose that. I've had more complaints than positive feedback on it, so probably rearrange that one a bit for the region. So I'm liking this trail so far. I've again used the handmade roads so the grass comes in a little better. I do see some bare spots where you can just see textures that I'm gonna have to kind of thin the trees out a bit. That's one thing I've noticed. I've used the season 12 weather and sky, which in general I do like, but it doesn't stay very light out for very long, so it must be like a fall, autumn kind of time. Short days. So I'm thinking about changing that. Doesn't seem to rain quite as much as some of the other ones. A lot of times I use the season 7 weather setup because it's got the most sun, although it rains quite a bit too, but it's a good little crawl getting through here with this thing. I'm not going to have any real crazy rock crawling on this, but I do want to have trails that are kind of geared like this. I might make these rocks a touch smaller. Again, your input's always helpful with this kind of stuff, but so you can see here the grass hasn't spawned properly. On this little bridge. The first time I went down this trail, it was with a boron, and I didn't make the bridge wide enough, and I fell right over here. Didn't have an offline winch. I couldn't get my mods to load up. Mods wouldn't work, so I signed out of Mod.io, and then most of the morning it was just getting an error trying to log back into Mod.io. But I finally got things set up. But yeah, my run in the boron was a failure. Gonna hide a few bridges like that, nothing too bad. There's the one across the river that you've seen in videos before this, and if you haven't, check it out. That you're gonna have to pull some big trailers across, but it's not nearly as tight as that, although it is pretty tough. I have done it once though, and I think I filled in a little bit of the middle because I had trouble crossing with a scout. So it should be a little bit easier than what you saw in the first. That might have been my first video on this map. I'm digging the mix I've put in here with some swamp and then some dry, rocky driving, and trying to mix it up and make the trails just a little bit more interesting. And I'm definitely going to have, I don't know if maybe we'll have a camp or something, or maybe it'll just be a recovery coming back like this, but we'll have something to do with the mission out there. There is a watch point up here, and I was considering putting a watch point back where we started as well as a recovery. Definitely a tough little trail here though. Especially with a bit of weight on the back. I don't know how well the Voron would have actually done with this truck on the back. Speaking of which, we're actually out in the 69 tilt cab from John Hot Rod. Oh, here we're finally out the other end. We went past a watch point way back there. I didn't know where I was. The Zetros whatever by Ranger. I'll link it down below too. That's another favorite of mine for doing these small recoveries with the tilt bed. And holy jeez, it's a little light on the front end for the high speed running. I wish I could move the bed a little bit further forward. I was probably supposed to put an add-on in there. Now we're back on the main road. This is the only paved road on the map, and it's going to head back over to Timber Creek, I believe, when I put the maps together. There'll be a couple houses along this road. This is where all the stores and rail yard and stuff connect to, and then you're basically out into the no man's land once you head off this main road. So let me know what you think. Ideas. Would love to hear it. And we'll keep trucking away on this. Looking forward to seeing the roadcraft stuff out soon. So, did read it's going to have mod maps first. So hopefully we'll dig into that real soon. Take it easy and look for an update coming soon. Appreciate the support.